Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Keller Williams Realty Technologies presentation. We're so excited to have you all with us today. We're going to be covering turning customer feedback into gold, and we wanted you all to just to be aware that we do have different opinions of what feedback is, and strategically using customer feedback is a must for any business looking to provide customers with products that they're looking for. And as a Keller Williams agent, you're the product, right? And you need to know how to use your customers. You need to know how your customers view your product, how they view you, how they view your support, your professionalism, and of course your dependability. Now, whether it's negative or positive, customer feedback is where you're always going to find opportunities to meet untapped needs. You're going to be able to develop new markets, improve your wow factor, and turn customer feedback into gold, because happy customers will refer you to others. They're going to use you again in the future, as we know how important referral and repeat business is. And in this session, we're going to show you ways of turning that feedback into future business opportunities. As always, let us know if you have any questions. Knowledge is power, and providing customer feedback provides a powerful means of improving your business. So what we're going to be covering today is getting the feedback through the internet, some web, getting the feedback through video, determining whether it is a complaint or feedback, and then what you do with that. And then, of course, sharing the feedback, because we can collect a lot of feedback, but if we're not sharing it, we're not going to be providing anybody any information. We're just going to be collecting a lot of data ourselves. So the first question might be, why do you want to collect customer feedback? And we're always influenced by the opinions of others to some extent. Social media is honestly proof of that. It speaks directly to that. How much do testimonials really influence when it comes to making purchases? And I'm going to make this interactive. How many of you look at a review before purchasing anything? And even then, at what dollar amount do you start to look at those testimonials, at those ratings? And Joan came back with always. And Joan, I'd like to know, do you always do it? I mean, if you're making a $25 purchase or a $2,500 purchase, is it always the same? So here's some stats that'll really stand out. People are 63% more likely to purchase a product from a site if it has a product rating or review. And I'm one of those too, Joan. I'm always looking at the reviews. 79% of online shoppers tend to trust online reviews as much as recommendations. That's pretty impressive. So that speaks a lot. If you are hoping that your friends, your family, your past clients are going to refer you, just think that 79% also review as much as that. Customer reviews create 74% increase in product conversation. I think that's very interesting. 77% of people take the time to read product service reviews before they make an online purchase. We're not going to have people going online and buying a house, but again, it is important that we are the product. The home at this time isn't the product. They are trying to find an agent that's going to help them with that process. That's what they're looking for. So does your company have a support number, a place where people can leave feedback? Have you trained, if you have frontline people, to ask clients if everything was good? Are they consistently keeping in touch with those clients? Are you the frontline person? And if so, do you have any processes in place? Do you have anywhere to record any issues? In other words, and then not only recording those issues, if you have staff, have you empowered them to fix those issues? That's always an important question to ask. The bottom line is you have to get the customer feedback in order to know what feedback there is. Don't assume that they're going to let you know when they're happy really don't assume when they're going to let you, if they're going to let you know when they're displeased. And unfortunately, you might be the last one to know. They will tell someone else. So you just might be the last one to know. You can use social media. You can make a practice of what we call mining your fans for feedback, for insight on your business. Even small engagements can give you great insight, a thumbs up, a compliment, a few shares. Shares are huge because you're sharing to influences you don't have access to. And if you need specific feedback, just simply ask for it. Just go directly to your customers or directly on Facebook and ask for feedback. Google My Business is going to help you to build a loyal fan base. Your customers can easily show their appreciation with ratings and reviews right there on the Google Plus page. They can give you a +1 to endorse your content. They can always reshare your Google Plus posts across the web. Google My Business is what will connect you directly with those customers. If they're looking for you in a Google search, if they're looking for you in Maps or Google Plus, My Business is what's going to connect them. You can also create a satisfaction survey for your clients to complete. You could use Google Forms to do that with your KW Google account. Get on Yelp. Become a member of your local Better Business Bureau. Really important. Continue to have a web presence so that you're always found on all search engines. Of course, our Google is really important, and if we're doing all of our work in Google and YouTube and so forth, we're going to collect that Google juice, but let's not forget about Yahoo and those other search engines that other people still use. So instead of waiting for the feedback to come back to you, because a lot of what we're doing through the online marketing is we're waiting for it. We're providing information so that they can submit it to us. Instead of waiting for it to come to you, you can solicit to your past clients, even to your current clients during the process. People will listen to other people's opinions about your company. If they know and trust that person, that's even better because you could share that, tell them to share that with their sphere. So people know them, people trust them. Even if they don't know them, they're likely to believe a stranger, a bunch of strangers, even better yet, talking about you rather than you talking about you. This is why video testimonials are so important. If you're using just text testimonials on your website, you're missing out on one of the best marketing tools, and that's satisfied customers in their full potential in their natural environment. They're so much more engaging. They're much more convincing. They're going to keep the visitors on your site longer. They're going to increase the chances that they'll make a decision. A lot of times they're trying to make a purchase. In this case, they're making a decision. It's important to know that when it comes to the web, 65% of your audience are visual learners, and website visitors are 64% more likely to buy a product or buy on to a product, on a site after watching a video. That's huge. Now, getting the consumer, the client, the past client, the current client, the customer to make their own video for you is a great way of maximizing on time, effort, and it truly comes out as authentic and organic. If they post it to their Facebook page, that's huge. Make sure that then you can share that. They can share that with you so that you can share it with others. Now it's coming from somebody else's presence. That's huge. Video testimonials you could ask for could be as short as 15 seconds. Do you have 15 seconds to just record a quick video testimonial? It's really good if they get to do it themselves. That way they have the right lighting. They like the way they look because they're going to provide it for you. They're going to maybe even do a couple of takes to where it's just perfect. Now, you can also schedule the feedback video and have it on a set with lighting, making it a much more polished look. This will require more time, more effort. It will take more cost naturally, but it's a great way of taking their story, and you could really transform that story if you are going to get it done professionally. the important questions to ask are, where did you start? What did you do? And what are the results about it? And then what did you think of all that? So where did you start when you started with your real estate agent? What did they do to make the process better? And then what was the end result? Well, I got my dream home, or I'm currently in contract. Any of that. Those, if you could just follow that simple process, then it's an easy script for both your clients and customers if they're doing it themselves, and good for you. Or I'm not seeing many questions. Hoping you guys are staying interactive here. I see about half of you are very attentive. So let me know if you have additional questions. All right, you're coming back. Good to see it. Okay, let's talk about complaints versus feedback. It's really simple. Feedback is praises and reprimands. That's praises plus reprimands, I should say. Complaints are just reprimands. That's a pretty simple way of seeing that. So feedback is more general. Complaints are specific. You can get lots of advice, lots of ideas when you're getting feedback, but not so much with complaints. And most people think that consumers are going to contact an organization only when they have a complaint. That's not necessarily true. And a lot of times they don't start with a complaint, but they end with a complaint because their feedback wasn't well received. That's one of the most important things. So typically, when someone has a complaint with a product or service, they want a resolution right then. They're expecting a fix to the problem. A review is subjective feedback. That can be positive, neutral, or negative. One thing to remember, don't always remove the negative things, because you can learn a lot from that. Your response to that could be critical. You could win not only that customer back, but others back. So the response is vital. A complaint doesn't have to be a negative experience, and resolving complaints requires dealing with the both emotional, the logical, the emotional, the logical, and the rational, not both, but the emotional, logical, and the rational. And if you just put some guidelines into place, you can turn that complaint into a positive experience. You acknowledge the criticism sincerely. You show that you make sure that they know that you value their feedback. And despite what the complaint is, just tell them that even if they complain, ask them if they would still consider to recommend you to their friends and family if they feel that their complaint or their problem was resolved. So it's not always about reacting. It's important that you take the time to respond and respond appropriately. Most importantly, respond, especially if it's online. Don't remove it, because they can easily put it somewhere else with your response or without your response. So remember, your response is critical. And Darren asked to repeat, I beg your pardon, the 3 questions to cover in the video. So I'm just going to go back to that really quick, and I'll send this to you all here in a moment as well. Those 3 questions, Darren, are here's where I started. It's not really questions. These are guidelines, if you will. Here's where I started. Here's what was done. Here's what we did, and then here are the results of that, and what they thought about each of those processes. Let me know if you still have questions on that. Okay, so as we know, we can all collect the feedback in the world, and all the best feedback, some of the best testimonials. We had them done by Spielberg, and they're incredible. But if we're not sharing them, it's not going to benefit you. It's not going to benefit your business. So it's important that you share the feedback. where would you share the feedback? This is where we're going to open this up for a little discussion. I'd like to ask you all where some additional places you could share your feedback. I'm going to give you some ideas here in your Keller Williams website. I have a picture of the new Keller Williams website. This is mobile optimized, so no matter where you have your feedback, you want to be sure it can be viewed on all devices, so that's really important. You can create a menu item in your Keller Williams website that is purely on testimonials. You could even put it under the About Me page as a submenu and then fill that up with video testimonials. The new KW websites allow for you to easily add YouTube videos into embedded into the site, so that's great. Be sure that you share them in your Google business page. This is vital, because here you can also get +1s. Your circles can see that you are making customers happy, and that you are the best one to help them with a real estate transaction, or even someone they know. Be sure to share it in Facebook, especially if you get a great review, a great thumbs up. Share that. Don't be afraid to promote those types of things. Of course, your YouTube channel, you could create an entire category in your YouTube channel and share that. Again, put it on your YouTube channel, then share it on your website. Share that video in your Google Plus page, and then share it in Facebook. That's how we are able to spread it out. Of course, blog about it. Have part of that in your blog. I like Brenda came in with a great answer, that share in a buyer and listing presentation. So that's really important. Not only does it get them to see that you have satisfied other customers, it might get them interested in doing their own, or they won't be so shocked when you ask them to do a testimonial. Great suggestion there. What other ways can we share our feedback? What are some other places we can share our feedback? We have Brenda T coming in saying she uses har.com feedback and utilizes that on her KW page. I think that's awesome. I'm not familiar with har.com, but I'm assuming that's the Houston Association of Realtors, and they must have a feedback page, and I think that's awesome because that is probably something that is incredibly local. So that's huge, and I'm sure it does get a lot of the local juice. Pinterest, Dana says Pinterest, good. Active Rain is a good site. You're not kidding, Jack. What a great place to place that, Active Rain. And then Barbara says in your newsletter. That's also really smart, because sometimes we send that electronic newsletter out. If we were creating a 12 Direct and we sent out this month in real estate, we could have an entire category dedicated to our testimonials. That is awesome. And then, of course, Yule is recommending your website on their own websites. Again, if we're going to put it on our websites, we want to make sure that those websites are mobile optimized so the video comes out clear. All right, any other suggestions? All right, while those suggestions are coming in, let's look at your action plans. What we want to do, number one, is to create a Google for Business page. Then we want to ask past and current clients for a 15-second or so testimonial. It never hurts to ask, and they can't say no if you don't ask. Underestimate how to manage complaints, how to turn those complaints into feedback. A lot of great resources there for you. And then, of course, once we collect all those testimonials, be sure to share all those testimonials online and offline. All right, I'll leave the line open for another minute or so. See if we have any additional questions, comments, concerns. All right, we want to thank you all for being with us today, and we want to thank you for being here for our last Systems for Success series of the year. Look on the technology calendar for our 2016 classes, which we will be providing at the first of the year. I want to thank you all very much for your time, and thank you for being a part of the Success series. And as always, don't forget to stay on the edge of real estate technology by using KW Technology. Make it a great day at Keller Williams, and Happy New Year.